2024 MEAC season kicked off with the SWAC MEAC Challenge. We had Norfolk State taking on the defending Celebration Bowl champions, those FAMU Rattlers. Let's take a look back now at the MEAC.
First and 10, and the big pass here from Jalen Daniels, and great body control. Jamari Taylor, who bounces it to the outside. Taylor, who turns on the speed, the 30, 20, 10. Nobody's catching Jamari Taylor. I see you, dude. Now Chris Mosley in, Walker Harris looking. First completion to a receiver. Get away is Chance Peterson. And Peterson loses the football. It's in the end zone. And it's Phoenix who finds Caden high with a little space. That's the stutter step. And you're not going to catch Caden.
All right, I'm Steve White here with Laurencia Moten. And Laurencia, the South Carolina State Bulldogs will take their 9-2 record in the MEAC Championship to represent the conference in the Celebration Bowl, which answers the big question coming into the year is, can Shennis Berry, coming from Division II Benedict College, replace the legend with Buddy Pugh and restore South Carolina State's legacy? Last year, the Bulldogs were 5-6. Now they're the champs. I guess Shennis Berry answered all the questions.
He definitely did, Steve. And listen, the only people that had many questions were those who were strangers to Shennis Berry and his coaching style, because he did the same thing at Benedict College last season. I had the ability to cover them in the SIAC, and in 2019, they were 1-9, and then in 2022, they were undefeated with an unbelievable record of 11-0. So he does the same thing. He turns programs around like it's nothing.
Yeah, he's got high energy. I mean, not just for the players, but for the fan base, for the alumni. And clearly that is contagious. He'll probably continue to get more talent coming there. And Laurencia, speaking of the talent, they were led by quarterback Eric Phoenix. His 20 touchdown passes. They had the top 3 wide receivers in the conference, averaged 35 points a game. But they were complemented by a very stingy defense led by linebacker Aaron Smith and defensive end Ashad Hall, who really got after the quarterback.
Definitely. And you mentioned it, right, Steve? His energy is contagious. And he told me during the MEAC Media Day that he's not just trying to win games on the field, but he's trying to build champions off the field. And the players bought into that.
Well, it's good they bought into it, but their stiffest challenge came from North Carolina Central. Remember, it was a very close game while the Bulldogs were on that 8-game winning streak. And Central was kind of a surprise team. They were the co-MEAC champions along with Howard last year. But they lost quarterback Davius Richard, and everyone thought they were going to take a step back. But once again, they were toe-to-toe right there with South Carolina, which is a big credit to their program.
A huge credit to their program and to their coach, Trey Oliver. You know, he is now one of the longest tenured coaches in the MEAC Conference. But as you mentioned, after losing their quarterback, it was hard for them to bounce back. But this is a small conference, right? And so there's tons of opportunity, and we'll never know. Maybe next year they'll be back on top.
But one of the schools that did not seize the opportunity was Howard University. They represented the MEAC in the Celebration Bowl last year, finished 4-8 under Coach Larry Scott. I mean, this was something that was kind of a surprise, wasn't it?
A huge surprise. I mean, from start to finish, as you mentioned, they just failed to establish a rhythm. And unfortunately, with this conference, you lose a few games and you're at the bottom. As I mentioned before, it's a small conference, so things can turn around quickly. But this year, just Howard wasn't able to get it done.
Well, we'll see if they can get it going. If next year it's going to be Morgan or Norfolk or whomever, the MEAC is always there for the taking. But congrats to Shennis Berry and those Bulldogs. Well done by you, Laurencia.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve and Laurencia. What a year for Shennis Berry in his first year there at South Carolina State. Now let's take a look at the MEAC's postseason honors.
The MEAC Offensive Player of the Year led the conference with 2,460 yards passing and 20 touchdowns. Is South Carolina State quarterback Eric Phoenix. The MEAC Defensive Player of the Year is Morgan State defensive lineman Elijah Williams. He became Morgan's all-time leader in career sacks with 31 and ranked 8th nationally this season with 11 sacks.
And the coach of the year in the MEAC is South Carolina State's Chennis Berry. He took the Bulldogs back to the Celebration Bowl after being undefeated in the conference at 5-0 with an overall record of 9-2. What a year for him coming in after the legendary Buddy Pugh, and the MEAC is no joke. It's a quick season.
It's hard to follow in the footsteps of somebody like a Buddy Pugh, that legendary coach there. And Coach Pugh, we miss you on the mic as well. But Chennis Berry comes in from a D2 school at Benedict. First year in the Celebration Bowl, and he kept receipts. He had to remind people that he remembers the doubters.
Oh,
but he got it done.
Plenty of doubters, and a lot of people thinking Central was going to be the favorite and they were going to get the job done. But he came in there.
But in the MEAC, you got to get it done late October, early November. Only a few games to make it happen. Hey, congratulations to all of those MEAC honorees. It's going to be interesting to see if those Eagles can maybe get that old thing back a little bit. Morgan State showed some promise, got a lot of hopes there. Next season, it's going to be tight. It's always tight in the MEAC, and we are looking forward to it.